Hey guys, so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to frame this 2024 Ram Promaster. So what I did was I used a quarter 20 rivet and a quarter 20 bolts you can get from any hardware store. And basically what I did was in the middle of this frame right here, I did all the rivet and then bolt all this together, center frame all the way across. And at the bottom, I have to glue it. So at the bottom right here, I have to use the Loctite caulking right there and to glue this together. So there's no way for me to bolt that. You guys how to do the framing on this part. So basically for this 2024 Ram Promaster, there's these little hexagon shape right here. And basically I use that as a guide. And I use a straight water level. I take the center of that hexagon all the way through to make a straight line. So wherever I wanted to make the hole for the rivet, I just basically draw a line. So I did 5 rivet holes right here. After I do the rivet, after I draw it, I put a cross. I just put a line down, and that makes that cross. So that means to tell me where to put this tip for this 3/8 metal drill bit to drill through this hole, right? Once I finish drilling through the hole, I would have to use a primer spray. So I do this outside of my van, and I use the primer spray, which is this one right here. This is a Rust-Oleum Stop Rust. Oh, sorry. Rust-Oleum Stop Rust Automotive Primer. So what I did was I used the primer, spray into this little small bottle cap, just a regular bottle water cap, and use a Q-tip and soak all of that up and put it through the rivet hole to seal it. All right, so once I'm done with that, I'm gonna show you guys how to change. I had a 1024 bit rivet bit in here that I need to change out. I need to change it back to a quarter 20. So you remove this. So this is a Doyle rivet tool, and so this is the one of the fitting that comes with it for the 1024. So now you kind of pull this back a little bit. Take this out, take that piece out. So now to put this back, this is the rivet quarter 20. Okay, screw it in, let it go. Put this piece back, and now you put the cap on. All right. And now we're gonna put the 1024 back in here. Put the 1024 back. Okay, so right here, you're gonna be using a quarter 20 rivet. Gonna do it all these holes right here. All right, so take this. Insert this in, clamp it down, give it a couple of turns, clamp it down again, remove it.
I thought easiest to do the rivet nut. So again, tighten it, turn the rivet hole, tighten it, give it a couple of turns, tighten it again, and do it.
So after this, what I did was I put pocket holes right here for the up and down frame. Put the stud at 16 inches in center. So this is, I created a template to show you guys how to frame out the whole curve at the top right here. So with this template, what I did was basically I cut a piece about the length of this van. So the way I did the template was I took my square ruler to create this 2 template piece that would fit into the van like this. Make a perfect connection. So you would flush up here, go up here, and you curve this whole thing out. And so in order for me to create this template, what I did was took my square ruler, I placed it from the bottom to the top stud, and I marked the line. So that's where the first line is. And I know that it's gonna have to be flush with this line right here. So then I took a piece of scrap wood. I cut a length about this high. So make sure that it fits in. So then I start cutting the groove, the little notch groove right here to fit inside this little corner spot right here. And once I did that, I placed another piece of wood up here and mark that and mark this angle. So once I did that, I go cut it at the miter saw. Once I finish cutting at the miter saw, these 2 pieces just comes together just like this. And you have a perfect wall. So I'm gonna show you guys how to cut out the notch right here. So to cut out this notch, I know I only need about a 1/4 inch of this gone, right? So what I did was over here with this saw blade, I adjusted the saw blade to about a 1/4 inch and whatever the length I want it to be. So now all I have to do is just cut it on, cut it. Now I have that groove. And then I just gotta get a screwdriver or a chisel, anything to go in there and pop it, pry it out. You put it in here and just pry it. That's gonna give you that notch right here. Do that again. Same thing. That knot. What I did was I created a template piece and I cut all 7, so there's 7 frame that's coming from that Promaster. So I cut all 7 pieces the same like this. And now when we put it together, it's gonna go up. It's gonna be like this. So you have a perfect framing, just like that, right? So that's done with that. Let me show you guys how to do the quarter inch 20 rivet and how to install the cross at the top, the beam at the top. Okay. So I purposely left this open, that way I can show you guys how I did with this. So in order to drill these holes for the quarter 20 rivet, you need a 3/8 inch drill bit, a metal drill. Took this, so you measure it out on the tape measuring from right at this corner, see where it touches, and you go back. You kind of measure this out to get the dimension of this piece, which is at 58 1/4. Use the miter saw. There's a little lever right here from Milwaukee. And I would just eyeball it to where the blade is at with that line. So once I'm happy with that, so now I know that this piece is going to go right here. Right? Then, since I already pre-drilled all my hole for the 1/4 inch rivet. And basically what I did was I bought a primer spray, which I'm gonna show you guys in a little bit. I'm just gonna use a bottle cap, regular water bottle cap, and with a Q-tip. I spray it in there, and I get the Q-tip, and I put the paint on here, and I just started filling this in so it doesn't rust. So I'm gonna show you guys how to use the 1/4 inch 20 rivet. So this right here is the rivet kit. The bolt, it's gonna go right into it. Basically a 1/4 20, which what it means is the bolt right here is a 1/4 inch in width, and it takes 20 turns for 1 inch right here. So you can get this at any regular store. I got mine at a hardware store. It's a very common size. The 1/4 20 bit is a very common size. So the way you do is I use a Doyle rivet, and you just open this up like this, screws this in. Once it's in, you put in the hole that you already drilled, and you pull it together tight. And then what I do is I just turn about another 1/4 turn, maybe like 1 turn, 2, maybe like 2 turn, until this handle open up a bit. And then I give it one more squeeze. So that should be very tight right there. And then you kind of twist this to get it to open up. Once that is done, what I do is I'm gonna put this piece of bar, put this piece up. I mark the center of where the rivet nut is, and then I go down. When I go over there to that table saw station, what I do is I use the square ruler to square it out, get that, and get the center of this, and that's where I'm gonna drill my 1/4 inch hole, and then I'll show you guys that is just a little bit. All right, so basically what you do is, in order to make this flush into here, what I have to do is to use a 1/2 inch drill bit that's just a little bit wider than the width of this bolt. So I'm just gonna go very slowly. See how it catches? Because I'm setting it to 2, so it's gonna stop so that way it don't go all the way through. And that's very important, because sometimes it will go all the way through. So now you put this bolt in. See, now it sits flush. So I'm gonna do that to all of this, and then we're gonna bring it up there and install it in. So once it stops like that, I just give it a turn. Okay. So I just turn the drill. That should be able to do it. So now what I'm gonna do is, in order to secure this, so I know I made my mark. It's going this way, so I know it's gonna have to be like this. What I like to do is start at the corner first. All right, start at one corner, and I'm gonna put the Loctite marine caulking. So I'm gonna put maybe just a dab right here, and then a dab right here, just to hold it. But the rivet nut should be enough to hold it for sure. And use my drill that I have. Let's start with this corner first. Gonna get it just to hold, for it to hold. Not all the way tight, just for it to hold first. So now it's holding that. We get more bolts, and then just work my way along. So now it is in. Drill it in, all of it. So now it's gonna be on there tight. There's no getting it off for sure. So again, this is a 1/4 inch 20, and it's by 1 inch long. And this is what the bolts look like. Okay. So, and that's how you do this part right here. And I haven't done the rest of the van yet. Right now I'm just gonna start with this side first. Once I'm done with this side, then I'll move over here. And for this part right here, the back of this has nothing for me to bolt it to. So what I did was I used that Loctite, and what I did was kind of make it to where I had to kind of push it up, glue the Loctite, and you see the caulking that's coming out right here, and it's gonna let that dry overnight. And once that's dry, I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna put another piece right here, and it's gonna sit flush with this all the way to the front. And there's another piece right up here that I still have to do to connect and finish this out. And what I'm gonna work on now is how to curve this part, to make this part right here curve. And let me get to that. All right, guys. So I did all the framing for that curve right here. And I'm gonna show you guys how I do this right here. So I started off with finding the center of this stud right here. And I drill the 3/8 inch hole right here for the rivet nuts. And then what I'm gonna do is have the primer right here. Give me 1 second, let me do this primer spray. So you might wanna do this outside of the van. Take a little primer. Spray it in to the bottle cap, any water bottle cap. Then you use a cotton swab to get all the primer paint in. And we're gonna fill that hole so it doesn't rust. That we just drew. It's basically gonna fill it up like that. And before it even dries, what you do is put the rivet nuts, put it in here, and it's gonna bond it together. So again, to use this tool, there's a Doyle tool. I bought a Harbor Freight tool. And you just screw that on. It's a 1/4, so the rivet I'm using is a 1/4 20 rivet. You put it into the hole, squeeze it real tight, let it go, give it about 2-3 turns, and then squeeze it one more time. And squeeze it one last time. And then now you take it out. So when you take it out like that, now what you want to do is, now it's in. So in order to put these two pieces together, what I do is I line this all the way up before it touch that, put this back here just like that, and I'm gonna draw the line. So I already draw the line right here for you guys. Okay, and you're gonna put a little bit of glue onto this piece right here. Just a little bit of glue. And we're gonna go over here, we're gonna nail this in. Alright. We're gonna nail it in, I'm gonna put it up to the line. Up to that line. Holding it kinda awkward. So you gotta really get it how you feel comfortable with this. So this is a cabinet stapler. This is a U-shaped cabinet stapler. I'm gonna put that against the edge of that, just to get a leverage. And then I'm gonna staple this just like that. So now it's in and it's holding. And I kind of want to angle it a little bit so it doesn't do that. So it does that. Kind of want to angle it a little bit so where it doesn't do that. So now you got this piece. Want to bring it back in the van to mark where the rivet hole is. So when you bring it back in the van, you slip this in first. Slip that piece in, and you mark the center of where that rivet hole is. You mark that center right there. And then whenever you mark the center already, you bring it outside. We're gonna start drilling this now. We're gonna drill the hole for the nut to go through. What I'm gonna do, because I got the hole, I got the where the center of it's gonna be at. So now I'm just gonna square it out. So now I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. So this is where that nut is gonna be, where the bolt is gonna go. So now you kind of mark the center, and this is a 2-inch. So the center of this is 1 inch. So when you mark the center, so you pretty much did the same thing with the other one. Take a 1/4 inch bit, drill a hole, wiggle a little. You kind of want to countersink in just a little bit, just like that. And now, go over here to install this in. Get a bolt. You want to know, see where it goes in at. It should be right here. You put a little bit of glue right there. Go in with the nut, the bolt first. With the bolt first. So, and now we're gonna use inch and a quarter exterior screws and go through this pocket hole. And basically what's gonna happen is it's gonna pull it in. Once you pull it in, it's gonna pull it in. Give me 1 second. Pulling it in. So once it pulled that in, kind of wipe away the glue and put this other side in. Yep. That's gonna be rock tight. All right guys, so I finished framing out the Promaster on this side already. I already showed you guys how to do that corner piece up there. That corner piece right there, all the way wrapped around. I still haven't did the front part of it yet, but I am gonna finish out this part, this portion right here, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do it. I pocket drill hole drilled the pocket hole. I ripped this to 2 inch for the stud, and I mark up the numbers, and it's by 16 inches in increment. So I know this one's gonna go right here, and basically what I do is I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on here just to make the joint a little bit tighter. I marked it 27 1/4, so I know 27 1/4 is gonna go right here. So I take my screws, my drill, and get this part in. So the way I'm doing it is I'm just holding it just a little bit. Might move just a little bit, but it's okay. You can adjust in a second. So that's how you get that one. So now for this one, where the wheel hub is, I cut it 45 degree, and a pocket hole right here. So what I'm gonna do is put some glue right here. And then for the back part of this, I'm gonna glue it together. So we're gonna use this Loctite marine gray caulk. Nothing to dry last night, so. Some in the back. And use a spring clamp. Hold it. So yeah, we're just gonna let that dry. Same thing for this one. Got it right here. So gotta put some Loctite on first. Put some glue. Line it up with the 16-inch center. Use the spring clamps. Spring clamp. Clamp it. Good. Clamp it and let it dry. From this point to wherever that a corner hits at is a 4 1/4. Same thing over here is 5 1/2. So the length of this piece right here is 46 1/2 plus 5 1/2 plus 4 1/2, that equal to 46 1/4. I mean 56 1/4. So I cut a piece of length for 56. All these joint out right here. Just might have saw it to cut it just enough for it to start bending, where it doesn't put too much stress on the on that piece because it's glued. So now you can bend it more. It's not gonna put enough. It's not gonna put any. That's gonna be at that back corner right there. Oh, this is pretty tough. So you gotta be very innovative to get this van, frame out this van. There's different ways you can do it, but this is how I did mine. So I started off with notching this out first, and I used the water level right here at the bottom of this, where all three of these meet at. to get this line, all right? Originally, I started with a 47-degree miter saw cut. But when I line up this piece, to that, it's not 47 degree. It's whatever that degree is, I don't know. So I kind of cut it like that. So once I got this shape, and it matches with everything else, I kind of there's a little gap in between them and the back. So I have to put this through and drill a 1/4 inch bit, and this is a 1/2 inch countersink. Hey guys, so this is what it looks like after I finish framing out all of the Promaster. Here's that curved piece up there, all the curved bar. It runs all the way length, all the way down. And you got that all at the top right there. In the next video, I'm gonna show you guys how to put a wall right here with a bathroom and a toilet and the sink and all that stuff.